Hey guys, as I say in my past few videos or a couple videos, I'm not political. I'm telling you what I see happening. I am interested in politics. I always have been my whole life, or most of my life anyways. I'm going to talk about two different subjects. The America imploding, okay, number one. And the second is, I'm just going to briefly touch on Joe Biden, okay? I see something happening. I wasn't going to make a video, and I saw something, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to talk about this. I didn't read it from anywhere because I don't think this has ever happened before. I don't hear other people talking about this. This is what I see. I see dead people. No, I'm just kidding. This is what triggered this thought, and I knew this already. This is just one instance. This goes for everything you see in California, New York, squatters' rights, companies leaving, people stealing, the border open. Do you get it yet? Do you get what's happening? The border is wide open. Biden has the opportunity to close it if he wants. He can do it tomorrow. Remember, Trump did it. Trump told the Mexican president to put 28,000 troops at the border or he would charge, what was it, huge tariffs or something like that? I forget what it was, but it was something to that effect. Plus he had people on the border. This and many other things. You know, you hear of like food plants burning, which I do believe is true, by the way. They say they'll try to tell you something else, but I just wouldn't believe anything, you know, those fact checks and stuff like this. Two companies, okay? You hear of boycotts. Tyson Foods. Let's start with Bud. Remember that executive or that top advertising person for Bud did that thing with Dylan Mulvaney, right? And then they tried to backtrack on it, whatever. They boycotted them. Kid Rock made that video, right? And then all of a sudden they're just like downhill. I read something right after that saying, listen, you boycott these companies, that may be good and well-meaning, but in the end it's going to bite your ass. That's what it's going to do. Can you not see what's happening? So let's take the second one. I don't hear anyone else saying this. Tyson Foods. So what do? 1,200 people, you know, probably paid pretty well, pretty big company, well-known name. They decide to fire them because they can't afford them, and all of a sudden they turn on them to hire 52,000 illegal migrants, right? So everyone's like, okay, we can't tolerate this, rightly so. If any other time in history, it would be a great boycott. But you're going to boycott them. This is their entire plan. Because if you start boycotting everything, which is their plan, you know, they incorporate this DEI, whatever it is, inclusiveness stuff, right? You're going to be boycotting everything. They're picking you apart piece by piece, piece by piece by piece, which is what a narcissist does to its victim. This is what they're doing. They're doing it in every facet of society. This is what's going on. So when you see things like this, these boycotts are not good. But obviously you'd have to stand up for these types of rights. You're not just going to let this happen, right? And it's strange because these huge companies, because they have to, I don't know what it is. like, you know, like Disney and like other companies, they're going downhill, and they're like, it's like they're okay with it because they're being told by rich upper echelons that it'll be good for you in the long run, right? This is communism. Communism is anti-Christ. This is the enemy of God. Doesn't mean you can't fight against it, but you know, these are the end days. I'm sorry to say. And just give me a break here. I have to take a break in my voice to let it reset. I'm going to talk about Joe Biden. And I see something that other people just don't see. I'm sure some people do. I've definitely seen some videos about this. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. All the lawlessness is caused by catch and release in all the democratic cities. People aren't standing up. Go look at my last two videos. Please watch my last two videos. I'll link them both up. They're doing it piece by piece, from the inside, from every available avenue that they have. This is what they're doing. You're living in communism. That's what's happening. Here's the problem when you take Donald Trump and you take Joe Biden. Is it true that Donald Trump was a good leader? Yes. Does he say things that are, you know, like, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that, this, that, and the other? Yeah, he does that, but at least he kept people from wars and stuff like that. But listen, I'm not going to say I am for Donald Trump. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to be political. What I want to say is this. He's a big distraction, right? If only Joe Biden existed and Donald Trump never existed on this planet, and you took a look, and let's say he took over from Ronald Reagan, okay? Say Ronald Reagan was old, let's just say he took over. Or anyone else. Have you seen the destruction that this man has wrought upon the globe? John the Apostle said, "But I tell you, there are many antichrists. There are many antichrists. Even so, he says even now there is. All throughout history there's been antichrist. He's one of them." That's my opinion. Go look at his track record. You know what? Actually, scratch his whole record. Scratch his entire record and just keep in mind one thing. He's leaving the border wide open. He's letting, I'm sure there's been more than 1 million rapes due to having the border open. I'm sure of it. Because if there's 10 million people pass through, they're saying 60% of women are being raped. Think of all the drugs that have led to death. You've never had a president that's led to more death and destruction of your own society. Don't ignore that. Forget about Donald Trump. Look what this man is doing to you. He is an antichrist. I don't care if you say he's Roman Catholic. Look what the man is doing. You shall know them by their fruits. I could make you a list of, I would say, 40 very questionable things. He's letting a lot of probably good people die at that border, man. I just, of course, in the end times you expect bad things. But the people coming through the border they're men. They're men. They're fit men. I'm glad I don't live in the United States, but I'm sure that'll have some type of effect on Canada. Canada's already got its own problems. This is what I see. They're trying to pick you apart piece by piece. You have a lot of communists in the United States, and they're in everything. They're in everywhere.